Today we are going to be talking about Venus in Cancer in 2026, approximately May 19th to June 14th, 2026. Do me a favor and press all the buttons and check my housekeeping in the comments for more information, like to the link to my astrology predictions playlist to 2046 and other cool, awesome stuff that you should be looking into. Anyway, Venus is love, relationships, and Cancer is mama drama. I always think Cancer's mama drama though. And emotions. Cancer's the first water sign on the zodiac. So they are, how do I say this? They lack emotional regulation, we'll say. I give Cancers a lot of beef, but it's me. It's definitely me. Anywho, one of the first alignments that we make here is a sextile to Mars in Taurus between 0 and 1 degree, and also a semi-sextile to Uranus in Gemini at 1 degree. So I should have talked about this in my Mars in Taurus video if you want to go check that out. So I should have talked about Mars and Uranus. If I did not, you should call me out on that. But the sextile to Mars in Taurus. So 0 degrees is always really difficult. 1 degree is you're stepping into it, you're brand new, you're just learning, and you shouldn't expect to know everything. You shouldn't I know. It's going to be you're stepping into it. Of course you're not going to know. And that's with your heart and your family stuff and your actions, especially in your home life. So these things are coming together now, even though we're starting off and it's a little rocky that, how we're doing things so differently now in these relationships that we thought of as stable and working. And this it's a new family dynamic potentially, and so we're relearning, not in a bad way. It can be because it's 0 degrees and we're learning, but it's a sextile here, which is generally positive, that these, basically how we're gonna do and manage these new relationships and, with our family and in our homes. And the semi-sextile to Uranus in Gemini here. Sorry, my cat, I think she's chasing the wind. Brandy. Anyway, so with Uranus in Gemini here, which is about to be electric all over the place, by the way, not necessarily in a bad way. It's very mental. It's very creative. It's a lot though. The semi-sextile, well, Venus is teaching Uranus here that my emotions and my family, the things that I feel, how I love, needs to, my emotions and what I have to say and how I feel about these things should matter. And, you can't get stuck in your head over all of the chaos. Like, even though Cancer is a very nostalgic sign, here it plays a different role. Here it's saying, hey, my emotions, especially from the past, are bothering me emotionally. And Uranus, this chaos planet, this creative planet in Gemini, which is all of this duality, it can be overwhelming, but Uranus is learning here that those emotions and those things, even though you can't get past it, you can still do something with it. It can still be utilized. You may not understand at this time how to do that, but Venus in Cancer needs to teach that my family and, the things that I've held on to, the relationships that I've held on to, these things that I am emotionally attached to, their meaning mattered somewhere. And it is teaching Uranus and Gemini that how we're thinking about how all of this chaos has unfolded and the chaos to come, and how that's really going to affect us and impact us means more than I think we're really going to sit with. So this is definitely a moment in time that I feel is going to be underappreciated, because semi-sextiles don't last. They don't have as large of an orb. So I think this particular alignment is going to easily be overlooked, but it is powerful nevertheless, because the things that you've gone through and the things that you've felt, the relationships that you've had, of course they matter. Of course they meant something. Now, dwelling on it obviously is not the option here. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about seeing how it has impacted you and how it's going to impact you, and being prepared for it and acknowledging what it is and how you've got here and where you're going with it and how you're going to feel about this from here forward, and how other people should feel from here forward, and why all of that matters. So, I mean, I think this is a lot more than we're going to give it credit for. Then we have a square to Neptune in Aries at 3 degrees. All I'm hearing is, and I'll leave a link to the video in the comments, all I'm hearing is Kevin Hart going, no, 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 no. It's like, no, because God here is going, hey, you remember me? I'm fitting to be a spanking. Like, our poor little hearts, we're gonna be so heartbroken, and God and Spirit is just smacking us sideways, and like, this is so abuse. Like, I'm tired of this godly abuse, this spiritual abuse, especially on our hearts. And this is really sensitive. This is very damaging. This is a moment in time that somebody lost their cool on like a holy level, and this damage cannot be undone. So now you shouldn't have been blindsided by this. You should have seen this coming, because if you're with me, you will see. But it's a holy moment of danger, red flags, problems. We have an inconjunct then to Pluto in Aquarius at approximately 5 degrees. And this is a very irritating aspect, how we've been changing, how things have, this is random changes, and something has definitely struck our heart nerves, and our hearts and where we sit can definitely strike nerves with our friends and some other social people around us, because if we can't keep our emotions in check, that can rock the boat for the boat. There's other people here that still have to interact with you, that still have to deal with you, and it's like, yeah, we know that you just watched someone get murdered, but we still need you to go to work. Like, this is that kind of vibe. Like, I get that we're all replaceable, and that even if you die on the line, your job will be posted before your obituary. Like, I get that. And sometimes the boat does need to be rocked. Sometimes it doesn't. Please determine where you really fall here. Because remember, God can come back around and spank you real hard if you don't approach this the correct way. So you do what's best for you and your situation at this time, but just know it is very irritating. It is not in alignment. This is out of alignment with the rest of what everyone else is doing and where your heart really lies in all of this, especially when it comes to your family. So put whatever you got to put first, because other people are going to put what they got to put first. We then have a square to Saturn in Aries, because I just have the cheeriest astrology report, don't I? Between 11 and 12 degrees. This is my way or the highway. This is do as I say because I said it. And this is parental figure stuff, because we've got Aries here, which is fire, and Saturn, which is daddy. We've got Venus, which is the heart, Cancer, which is the mom. So this is stuff with your parents, and we're gonna have more and more parental figure stuff coming up, especially as Saturn stays in Aries, and then eventually when Saturn goes into Cancer, it's gonna be a lot more parental stuff. But yeah, this is a taste of, daddy's on fire, and your heart is underwater. And how do they see eye to eye when Saturn, who is telling you, no, this is what you're about to do, and your heart is screaming, please don't do that, please don't hurt me. And Saturn and Aries does not care. They don't have patience. It is, do you see their soul? Do you see their heart right now? No, because they're so mad. And you having this big heart here, which is gonna get trampled, I'm sorry, Aries wins here, because there's too much going on with Aries and war not to. So protect your heart. Cancer people, you've got a shell for a reason. All the rest of us, we can build our shell for a reason, because we need to remember to layer up our defenses, especially emotionally here. And I'm a Capricorn, so like my walls have walls that have walls behind walls. So like I understand this, but yeah, definitely protect your emotions here. I would avoid any emotional talk. Let people tell on themselves. Let them have their hissy fit or whatever they're going to do. Obviously, don't take illegal orders. Obviously, if you feel like something is immoral or you don't want to because it is against your better judgment and your value system, nobody should be forcing you to do anything against that. So please stand up for yourself, because this can also come into you having your own passions, and if you really believe in your heart and you believe your heart is the right thing, please stand up for yourself, stand up for the people around you. So you can twist this and turn it into your advantage if you're smart about it. What I don't want you to do is lose your emotional mind or lose your patience to the point to where you say or do something that you can't come back from. So we are avoiding jail. We're avoiding prison. Okay? We have a conjunction to Jupiter in Cancer at 25 degrees. So this is on the same page with things that are getting bigger and out of hand, especially with your family. So this may be that your family is backing you in a big way. You have a really big support system that you weren't expecting to have behind you at this time. Either way, it's beautiful. You're in alignment, especially when it comes to your emotions and your relationships and things that are bigger and outside of yourself. That's approximately June 9th, 2026. Then on June 13th, 2026, approximately, we have a square to Chiron in Aries. This is at 29 degrees. So just before Venus enters Leo. Now, Chiron is about to do a dance back and forth between Aries and Taurus. And then after 2027, all the planets should officially be in the signs that they're going to be in for this whole new phase and transition of the world. But yeah, we have the square to Chiron, and this healing journey that we have been on. We recognize it's been painful. We recognize that it's not over. We recognize how directly it's impacting us and impacting our emotions and impacting our relation. It's impacting every single piece of our freaking lives. And it's not over. It's telling us, yeah, we just started. We're going to the next phase now, but this is not done. This is so far from done. You thought you were done? Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. No, you're not done. Yeah, so, best of luck, fam. Peace out. Much love. Stay safe. stay mindful, and stay ahead of the game. Talk to you later.